Hi there, people. It's Pyxcore, and man, I wish there was a game called Portal 2.
So picture this, you're a Valve in 2007.
Oh, I've been there.
You just released Portal, and it's a massive success. But where do you go from there? Well, Valve was faced with this issue. I mean, how do you follow up one of the greatest games of all time? Well, they went through several ideas and then finally landed on Portal 2.
And idiots like you just will not shut up about it.
This game was truly revolutionary, and there's no denying that. And if you do,
they issued an arrest. See, my favorite game of all time was Portal 2, but then I replayed a certain game and realized that that was my favorite game of all time. Peppa Pig World Adventures.
But why was this game so revolutionary? Well, in order to find out, we need to... You start out in this relaxation room, which is an upgrade from the last game, and you hear a voice overhead that's telling you...
Good morning. You have been in suspension for 50 days. In compliance with state and federal regulations, all testing candidates in the Aperture Science Extended Relaxation Center must be revived periodically for a mandatory physical and mental wellness exercise.
This exercise involves looking up at the ceiling and looking down at the floor. Then you do a bit of a mental exercise by looking at a painting. And if that doesn't do it for you, then you can listen to some classical music. This really goes to highlight the strength of the Portal series. It's comedy. Anyway, you go back to sleep and wake up. Years later, eventually a little robot named Wheatley comes in and tells you that the facility of test subjects is crumbling, so you and he are taken through the facility of Aperture before crashing into the test chambers. Time to start testing! You go through a variety of puzzles, some from the last game, until you get to her chamber. Who is her? Why, GLaDOS, of course. Remember that robot that tried to kill you in the last game, but you killed her instead? Yeah, well, she's back, and with a completely fresh new look as well. She takes full control of all of Aperture, even going so far as to erase the rat dens that you'd find in this game and the last. I'm of course talking about the dens made by Doug Ratman,
a character that Valve refuses to explain in-game, and so do I!
Anyway, you go through this section of puzzles in the game, and can I just say, the puzzles in this game are loads better than the ones in the first game. And that game's puzzles were already phenomenal. As you're about to complete the final test chamber though, Wheatley comes to save the day, revealing that GLaDOS was plotting to kill you the entire time. Which was made obvious by the two tragic surprises she had in store for you. You and Wheatley begin going through the back of the facility, shutting off GLaDOS' neurotoxins and turret defenses. So, when you face off against her, all you need to worry about is pressing the stalemate button for GLaDOS to be replaced with Wheatley, and boy, it doesn't go well. GLaDOS is put into a potato, and we learn a few key things here. Number 1, Wheatley is a corrupt core that just wants power. Number 2, he was originally a core that was put on GLaDOS to make her behave. And number 3, he is definitely not a moron.
I am not a moron!
You know, out of all possible plot twists that this game could have had, Wheatley being a moron was not one of them that I expected.
I knew it.
We got another one talking about Portal 2. People sick at me. What the... Listen, talking about that kind of stuff is illegal nowadays. We gotta take you in. Where am I? Oh.